Have you ever felt like you don't quite fit in? Like you're seeing the world through a different lens than everyone else? If so, you might be one of the chosen ones. Now, I know what you're thinking, chosen ones. Sounds like something out of a fantasy novel. But stick with me, because this is about something very real and very important. Imagine you're at a party. Everyone's laughing, chatting, caught up in the usual small talk. But you're standing there, feeling like you're watching it all from behind a glass wall. You can see everything, but you can't quite connect. It's not that you don't want to. It's just that something deep inside you knows there's more to life than this. That's what being a chosen one feels like. Let's talk about what being a chosen one really means. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's about being different in a way that serves a greater purpose. Chosen ones are spiritual wayshowers, people who are here to guide humanity towards a higher level of consciousness. You're like a lighthouse in a storm, helping others find their way to shore. But here's the thing. Your light is so bright, so different, that it can be confusing for those around you. Your absence from the normal way of living is like a puzzle piece that doesn't quite fit. And that confusion? It's actually a good thing. It's part of your purpose. Think about it this way. Have you ever had a friend who suddenly started eating really healthy and it made you question your own diet? That's kind of what chosen ones do, but on a much bigger scale. Your different way of thinking and being makes others stop and think, wait, is there more to life than what I've been told? Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I'm a chosen one? Well, there are some signs that many chosen ones share. Let's go through a few of them. First off, you probably feel different, and you felt that way for as long as you can remember. Maybe as a kid, you were the one who asked the big questions that made adults uncomfortable. Why are we here? What happens when we die? While other kids were worried about their toys, you were pondering the mysteries of the universe. Another sign is that you're highly sensitive, not just emotionally, but to everything. You might pick up on other people's feelings like you're a human antenna. Crowded places might overwhelm you because you're sensing everyone's energy. You might even be sensitive to things like loud noises, bright lights, or certain foods. Here's another big one. You have a strong sense that you're here for a reason. You might not know exactly what that reason is yet, but you feel it in your bones. It's like there's a mission encoded in your DNA, and even if you can't read it clearly, you know it's there. Lastly, you probably feel a deep connection to nature and the universe. You might feel more at home sitting under a tree than you do in a bustling city. Looking up at the stars might fill you with a sense of belonging that you rarely feel in your day-to-day life. Now, having one or two of these signs doesn't automatically make you a chosen one. But if you're nodding your head to most of these, there's a good chance you're on a unique spiritual path. The thing is, being a chosen one isn't always easy. In fact, it can be downright challenging at times. You might feel lonely, misunderstood, or out of place. You might struggle to relate to others or to find your place in the world. But remember, these challenges are part of your journey. They're shaping you, preparing you for your greater purpose. Think of it like this. You're like a diamond in the rough. Those challenges? They're the pressure that's turning you into something brilliant and valuable. It's not always comfortable, but it's necessary for your growth and for you to fulfill your role in the world. Now, let's talk about why your absence is so confusing to others. When I say absence, I don't mean physical absence. I'm talking about your absence from the usual way of thinking and living. You see, most people go through life following a pretty standard script. Go to school, get a job, buy a house, have a family. You know the drill. But chosen ones? They often don't fit that mold. You might find yourself questioning the things that everyone else takes for granted. Why do we work jobs we hate just to buy things we don't need? Why do we ignore our intuition in favor of what society tells us is right? These questions, and your refusal to just go along with the status quo, can be really confusing for the people around you. Your friends and family might not understand why you're not interested in climbing the corporate ladder or why you'd rather spend your time meditating or helping others. They might worry about you or think you're throwing your life away. But what they don't realize is that you're following a different path, a spiritual path that's just as valid and important as any traditional career or lifestyle. This confusion isn't a bad thing, though. In fact, it's a crucial part of your role as a chosen one. Your different way of being in the world acts like a wake-up call for others. It's like you're holding up a mirror to society, showing people that there are other ways to live, other things to value. When you choose to follow your spiritual path instead of conforming to societal expectations, you're doing something really powerful. You're showing others that it's okay to be different, to question things, to seek a deeper meaning in life. And even if they don't understand it at first, your example plants seeds of change in their minds. Think about it like this. Imagine you're in a dark room with a group of people. Everyone's just sitting there in the dark because that's all they've ever known. But you have a lantern. When you light it, it might startle people at first. They might squint or turn away from the brightness. But once their eyes adjust, they start to see the room clearly for the first time. They start to realize there's more to their world than they thought. That's what you're doing as a chosen one. Your spiritual awareness, your different way of thinking and being, that's your light. And even if it confuses people at first, it's helping them see the world in a new way. Now, this doesn't mean you should go around preaching to everyone or trying to force your views on others. That's not what being a chosen one is about. Your role is more subtle, but no less powerful. It's about living your truth, following your spiritual path, and trusting that your example will inspire others in its own time. Remember, confusion often comes before understanding. When people are confused by your absence from the norm, it means they're starting to question things. They're starting to wonder if there might be more to life than what they've been told. And that questioning, that's the first step towards spiritual growth and awakening. So if you find that people in your life are confused by your choices, by your different way of seeing the world, take heart. It means you're doing exactly what you're meant to do as a chosen one. You're stirring things up, making people think, and paving the way for a new level of consciousness. Of course, this doesn't make it any easier to deal with the misunderstanding and confusion of others. It can be lonely being different, being the one who doesn't quite fit in. But remember, you're not alone. There are other chosen ones out there, walking their own paths, shining their own lights. And together, all of you are helping to guide humanity towards a more conscious, more spiritual way of being. So embrace your role as a chosen one. Embrace the confusion your absence causes, knowing that it's serving a greater purpose. You're not just living your life, you're helping to shape the future of human consciousness. And that's a pretty amazing thing to be part of. Now, let's dive a little deeper into the spiritual purpose behind being a chosen one. Because make no mistake, there is a purpose to all of this. You're not different just for the sake of being different. You're not causing confusion just to stir things up. There's a bigger picture here, and it's time we talked about it. So what exactly is this bigger picture? Well, many spiritual teachers and traditions talk about something called the Great Awakening. This is the idea that humanity as a whole is in the process of waking up to a higher level of consciousness. We're moving from a way of living that's based on fear, separation, and materialism to one that's based on love, unity, and spiritual awareness. And guess what? As a chosen one, you play a crucial role in this awakening. Think of it like this. Imagine humanity is a giant sleeping giant. For thousands of years, this giant has been fast asleep, dreaming a dream of separation and forgetting its true nature. But now, it's time for the giant to wake up. And you, as a chosen one, are like an alarm clock. Your different way of being, your spiritual awareness, your refusal to just go along with the status quo. All of these things are like a persistent ringing, slowly but surely rousing the sleeping giant. Every time you choose love over fear, every time you follow your intuition instead of societal expectations, every time you seek deeper meaning in life, you're helping to stir the giant from its slumber. Now, this doesn't mean you have to do anything grand or dramatic. You don't need to become a famous spiritual teacher or lead a global movement, although if that's your path, go for it. Your purpose is fulfilled simply by being who you are, by living your truth, by shining your unique light in the world. Remember those signs of being a chosen one we talked about earlier? Your sensitivity, your feeling of being different, your sense of having a mission? All of these are tools that help you fulfill your purpose. Your sensitivity allows you to perceive the deeper truths of reality, to see beyond the surface level stuff that most people get caught up in. Your feeling of being different keeps you from getting too comfortable with the old ways of doing things, pushing you to seek new paths and new solutions. And that sense of mission, that's your spiritual purpose calling to you, guiding you on your path. But here's the really important part. Your purpose isn't just about you. It's about all of us. You see, we're all connected. We're all part of the same great web of consciousness. So when you raise your own level of awareness, when you live from a place of love and unity, you're not just changing yourself. You're changing the whole web. You're raising the vibration of the entire human family. It's like dropping a pebble in a pond. The pebble might be small, but the ripples it creates spread out far and wide, touching every part of the pond. That's what you're doing as a chosen one. Every act of kindness, every moment of increased awareness, every time you choose love over fear. These are all pebbles you're dropping into the pond of human consciousness. And those ripples? They're helping to wake up the whole world. Now, I know this might sound like a lot of pressure. You might be thinking, me? I'm supposed to help wake up the whole world? That's a pretty big job. And you're right, it is. But remember, you're not alone in this. There are many chosen ones, all playing their part in this great awakening. And you don't have to do it all at once. This is a gradual process, and every little bit helps. Your job isn't to single-handedly save the world. Your job is simply to be you, your highest, truest, most authentic self. To follow your spiritual path, to listen to your intuition, to shine your unique light in the world. The rest will take care of itself. And here's something really beautiful about this purpose. It's not something you have to force or struggle with. When you're aligned with your true purpose as a chosen one, it feels right. It feels like coming home. Yes, there will be challenges along the way. Yes, there will be times when it's hard to be different, when the confusion of others gets to you. But underneath all of that, there's a deep sense of rightness, a feeling that you're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing. So embrace your purpose as a chosen one. Trust in the process of awakening, both for yourself and for the world. Know that your unique way of being, your spiritual awareness, your light, all of these are exactly what the world needs right now. You're not weird or wrong for being different. You're an essential part of humanity's evolution. And remember, this great awakening isn't about getting rid of the old world and replacing it with something entirely new. It's about transformation. It's about taking the best of what we are as humans, our creativity, our love, our capacity for growth and change, and elevating it to a new level. And you, as a chosen one, are at the forefront of this transformation. So the next time you feel out of place, the next time someone is confused by your different way of being, remember this. Your absence from the old ways of doing things is a presence in the new world that's being born. Your light might be confusing to those still in the dark, but it's helping to illuminate the path forward for all of us. You are a chosen one, and your purpose is nothing less than to help usher in a new era of human consciousness. It's a big job, but you're more than up to the task. After all, that's why you were chosen. Being a chosen one isn't all spiritual highs and enlightened moments. It comes with its own set of challenges that can sometimes feel overwhelming. Let's talk about these challenges and how to deal with them. One of the biggest hurdles you might face is feeling misunderstood. When you see the world differently from most people, it can be hard to explain your thoughts and feelings to others. You might try to share your spiritual insights or talk about your deeper purpose, only to be met with blank stares or skepticism. This can lead to a deep sense of loneliness, like you're the only one who sees things the way you do. Another common challenge is the pressure of feeling different. Society tends to reward conformity, and when you don't fit the mold, it can feel like you're doing something wrong. You might question yourself, wondering if maybe you're the one who's mistaken. Maybe if you just tried harder to be normal, things would be easier. This self-doubt can be really tough to deal with. Then there's the challenge of balancing your spiritual path with everyday life. You might feel a strong pull towards spiritual pursuits, meditation, or helping others. But you also have to deal with the practical realities of life, paying bills, maintaining relationships, and handling day-to-day responsibilities. Finding a balance between these two worlds can feel like walking a tightrope. But here's the thing. These challenges aren't obstacles to your path. They're part of the path itself. Each difficulty you face is an opportunity for growth, a chance to deepen your understanding and strengthen your spiritual muscles. When you feel misunderstood, it's an invitation to practice compassion, both for yourself and for those who don't get you. Remember, everyone is on their own journey, and not everyone will be ready to understand your perspective. That's okay. Your job isn't to make everyone understand you, but to stay true to your path regardless of whether others get it or not. When self-doubt creeps in, see it as a chance to reaffirm your commitment to your spiritual journey. Remind yourself of the experiences that have shown you there's more to life than the conventional path. Trust your intuition and your inner knowing. You're different for a reason, and that reason is important, even if it's not always clear. And when you're struggling to balance your spiritual life with your everyday responsibilities, view it as an opportunity to bring your spirituality into every aspect of your life. You don't have to choose between being spiritual and being practical. The real magic happens when you can bring your spiritual awareness into your everyday actions, turning even the most mundane tasks into acts of mindfulness and love. Remember, being a chosen one doesn't mean your life will be perfect or easy. It means you have the strength and the spiritual tools to face life's challenges in a way that promotes growth and awakening, both for yourself and for those around you. Now, let's talk about something really fascinating: the power of your absence. When I say absence, I'm talking about your absence from the usual way of thinking and living. This absence, this difference, is actually one of your greatest strengths as a chosen one. You see, when you choose not to participate in the things that most people take for granted, the constant striving for material success, the mindless consumption, the ignoring of spiritual truths, you create a kind of vacuum. And nature, including human nature, abhors a vacuum. Your absence from these things makes people notice. It makes them question. And questioning is the first step towards change. Think about it like this. Imagine you're in a room full of people, and everyone is wearing red. But you're wearing blue. At first, people might not even notice. But as time goes on, your blue starts to stand out. People start to wonder, why isn't that person wearing red like the rest of us? Is there something wrong with red? Is there something special about blue? That's what your spiritual absence does. By not participating in the unconscious behaviors that most people engage in, you shine a light on those behaviors. You make them visible. And once something is visible, it can be examined. Once it's examined, it can be changed. Your absence from the rat race might make your coworkers question their own career choices. Your refusal to engage in gossip or negative talk might make your friends more aware of their own speech patterns. Your choice to spend time in meditation or nature instead of watching TV might make your family members consider how they're spending their own time. But here's the really powerful part. You don't have to say a word. You don't have to preach or try to convert anyone. Your absence itself is the message. By simply living your truth, by following your spiritual path, you're showing others that there's another way to live. This is how you wake people up, not by shaking them or shouting at them, but by living in such a way that they start to wake up on their own. Your absence creates a space for new possibilities to emerge. It's like you're carving out a path in the wilderness. You might be the first one on that path, and it might be lonely at times, but you're making it easier for others to follow. So, how do you fully step into your role as a chosen one? How do you embrace this spiritual path and make the most of your unique gifts? Let's break it down into some practical steps. First and foremost, trust your intuition. As a chosen one, you have a deep inner knowing that goes beyond logical thinking. Learn to listen to that quiet voice inside you. It might not always make sense to your rational mind, but it's connected to a wisdom that's far greater than what we can perceive with our limited senses. Practice mindfulness and self-awareness. The more aware you are of your own thoughts, feelings, and actions, the more effectively you can navigate your spiritual path. Take time each day for meditation or quiet reflection. This will help you stay centered and connected to your higher purpose. Embrace your sensitivity. Yes, being highly sensitive can be challenging in our noisy, fast-paced world, but it's also a gift. Your sensitivity allows you to perceive things that others might miss. It helps you empathize with others and connect deeply with the world around you. Instead of trying to shut it down, learn to manage and channel your sensitivity in positive ways. Keep learning and growing. Being a chosen one doesn't mean you have all the answers. In fact, it often means you have more questions. Stay curious. Read spiritual texts, learn from teachers and mentors, but always trust your own discernment. Your path is unique, and what resonates with you might be different from what works for someone else. Find your tribe. While your path might often feel solitary, you're not alone. There are other chosen ones out there, and connecting with them can be incredibly validating and supportive. Look for spiritual groups or communities that align with your values. Even if you can't find people in your immediate area, online communities can be a great resource. Practice compassion for yourself and others. The spiritual path isn't always easy. There will be times when you stumble or doubt yourself. Be gentle with yourself during these times, and extend that same compassion to others, even those who might not understand your path. Remember, everyone is doing the best they can with the level of awareness they have. Live your truth, unapologetically. This doesn't mean being confrontational or trying to prove you're right. It means staying true to your values and your spiritual insights, even when it's difficult. It means making choices that align with your higher purpose, even if those choices don't make sense to others. Lastly, remember that your main job is simply to be you. You don't have to save the world single-handedly. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be authentically, unapologetically you. Because your authentic self, with all its unique gifts and perspectives, is exactly what the world needs right now. Embracing your role as a chosen one isn't about reaching some final destination. It's about the journey. It's about growing, learning, and expanding your consciousness day by day. It's about shining your light in the world, trusting that your light helps illuminate the path for others. You are a chosen one. Your presence matters. Your absence from the old ways of being creates space for new ways to emerge. Trust in your path, embrace your unique gifts, and know that by simply being you, you're helping to create a more awake, more conscious world. The journey of a chosen one isn't always easy, but it's always worthwhile. So step into your power, embrace your spiritual purpose, and trust that your unique light is helping to illuminate the way forward for all of us. The world needs you, just as you are. Shine on, chosen one. Shine on. As a chosen one, you might often feel like you're walking a solitary path, but the truth is, you're not alone. There are others out there who share your sensitivity, your spiritual awareness, and your sense of a greater purpose. Finding and connecting with these kindred spirits can be incredibly validating and supportive on your journey. But how do you find your spiritual tribe when you feel so different from most people? It starts with being open and authentic about who you are. This doesn't mean you need to announce your spiritual beliefs to everyone you meet. Rather, it's about allowing your true self to shine through in your everyday interactions. When you're genuine about your interests, your values, and your perspective on life, you naturally attract people who resonate with your energy. It might be the coworker who's always talking about meditation, or the neighbor who's passionate about environmental causes. These connections might start small, but they can blossom into deep, meaningful relationships. Don't be afraid to seek out spaces where like-minded individuals gather. This could be spiritual retreats, workshops, or classes on topics that interest you. Even if you live in a small town or feel isolated, the internet has made it easier than ever to connect with people who share your spiritual interests. Online forums, social media groups, and virtual workshops can all be great places to meet other chosen ones. Remember, your spiritual tribe doesn't have to be a large group. Even one or two people who truly understand and support your path can make a world of difference. These connections can provide a safe space for you to express yourself fully, share your experiences, and grow together. When you do find your spiritual tribe, nurture these relationships. Be willing to be vulnerable and share your true self. Listen deeply to others' experiences and perspectives. Offer support when they're struggling, and allow them to support you in return. These connections can be a powerful source of strength and inspiration on your spiritual journey. However, it's also important to maintain healthy boundaries. While it's wonderful to connect with like-minded individuals, remember that your spiritual path is ultimately your own. Don't feel pressured to adopt beliefs or practices that don't resonate with you just because others in your spiritual circle embrace them. Trust your own intuition and discernment. Lastly, remember that as a chosen one, you have a unique opportunity to bridge different worlds. While it's important to connect with those who understand your spiritual path, don't isolate yourself from those who might not share your perspective. Your presence and example can help raise awareness and consciousness in all your relationships, even with those who might not consider themselves on a spiritual path. As a chosen one, your impact on the world goes far beyond what you might immediately see or realize. Every choice you make, every interaction you have, sends ripples out into the world, affecting things in ways you might never know. Think about it like this. Have you ever thrown a pebble into a still pond? You see the immediate splash where the pebble hits the water, but then you notice something else. Ripples start to form, moving outward in concentric circles. They keep going, reaching farther and farther across the surface of the water. That's what your presence does in the world. Every time you choose love over fear, every time you act with kindness or compassion, every time you honor your spiritual truth, that's like throwing a pebble into the pond of human consciousness. The immediate effect might seem small, but the ripples keep going, touching lives and creating change in ways you can't always see. For example, let's say you choose to respond with patience and understanding to a frustrated coworker. In that moment, you might just be trying to keep the peace. But your coworker, touched by your kindness, might go home in a better mood and have a more positive interaction with their family. Their child, feeling loved and supported, might then be kinder to a classmate the next day. And on it goes. Or maybe you decide to spend your weekend volunteering at a local community garden instead of binge-watching TV. Your actions inspire your neighbor to get involved too. The garden flourishes, providing fresh food for the community and bringing people together. Connections are formed, ideas are shared, and slowly but surely, the community begins to transform. These ripples of positive change aren't always visible. You might not see the full impact of your actions, but trust that every choice you make from a place of love and spiritual awareness is contributing to the elevation of human consciousness. This is why your presence as a chosen one is so powerful. You're not just living your life for yourself. You're helping to create a new paradigm, a new way of being in the world. Your choices and actions are helping to tip the scales towards a more conscious, more compassionate world. But remember, this doesn't mean you have to be perfect, or that you have to be constantly doing big, world-changing things. Sometimes the most powerful ripples come from the smallest actions: a genuine smile, a moment of presence, a decision to choose love over fear in a difficult moment. Your job as a chosen one is simply to be true to your spiritual path, to keep shining your light even when it feels like no one sees it. Because the truth is, your light is seen and felt, even if it's not always acknowledged. It's creating change, even when you can't measure that change. So keep throwing those pebbles into the pond. Keep making choices from a place of love and spiritual awareness. Trust that your presence is making a difference, that your light is helping to illuminate the way forward for all of us. Being a chosen one isn't a destination you reach. It's an ongoing journey of growth, learning, and evolution. Your spiritual path will continue to unfold throughout your life, presenting new challenges, new insights, and new opportunities for expansion. It's important to embrace this journey with an open heart and an open mind. Be willing to continually question your beliefs, to challenge your assumptions, and to expand your understanding. The spiritual path isn't about reaching a point where you have all the answers. It's about being comfortable with the questions, with the mystery, with the ongoing process of unfolding. As you continue on your journey, you'll likely find that your understanding of what it means to be a chosen one will evolve. What seemed vitally important at the beginning of your path might fade in significance as you gain new insights. Things that once confused you might suddenly become clear. And just when you think you've figured it all out, life will present you with new mysteries to explore. This is all part of the process. Embrace it. Welcome the changes, the growth, the evolution of your spiritual understanding. Be willing to let go of old beliefs that no longer serve you. and be open to new truths as they reveal themselves. Remember, too, that your journey as a chosen one isn't separate from your everyday life. It's not something that happens only when you're meditating or doing specific spiritual practices. Your spiritual journey is happening all the time, in every moment, in every interaction. The challenge and the opportunity is to bring your spiritual awareness into every aspect of your life. How can you bring more presence to your work? How can you approach your relationships with more compassion and understanding? How can you make choices in your daily life that align with your highest truth? As you continue to grow and evolve, you'll likely find that your impact on the world grows too. The more you align with your spiritual truth, the more powerfully you'll be able to shine your light. You'll become clearer in your purpose, more confident in your path, and more effective in your ability to raise consciousness, both your own and that of those around you. But remember, this growth isn't always comfortable. There will be times of challenge, times of doubt, times when it feels like you're moving backwards instead of forwards. These difficult periods are not failures. They're opportunities for deep learning and transformation. Often, it's in these challenging times that the biggest breakthroughs happen. So embrace all of it. The highs and the lows, the clarity and the confusion, the times of rapid growth and the times of apparent stagnation. It's all part of your journey as a chosen one. As we wrap up our exploration of what it means to be a chosen one, let's take a moment to reflect on the bigger picture. You are part of something truly extraordinary, a great awakening of human consciousness. Your presence, your light, your unique gifts are all playing a crucial role in this collective evolution. Remember, your job isn't to single-handedly save the world or to be some kind of perfect spiritual being. Your job is simply to be you, to live your truth, to follow your spiritual path, to shine your light in whatever way feels authentic to you. Trust that this is enough. Trust that by being true to your spiritual nature, you're contributing to the elevation of all. Yes, being a chosen one comes with challenges. You might often feel different, misunderstood, or out of place in a world that doesn't always recognize spiritual truths. But these challenges are part of your gift to the world. Your willingness to be different, to question the status quo, to live according to higher truths. This is what helps create space for new possibilities to emerge. Your absence from old, unconscious ways of being is powerful. It creates a vacuum that invites others to question, to wake up, to consider new ways of thinking and being. Never underestimate the power of your example, even when it feels like no one is noticing. As you continue on your journey, remember to be gentle with yourself. Embrace your sensitivity, your deep feelings, your unique perspective on the world. These are not weaknesses to be overcome, but gifts to be cherished and developed. Seek out connections with others who understand your path. Find your spiritual tribe, those kindred souls who can support you and reflect back your light. But also remain open to connecting with those who might not fully understand your journey. Your presence in their lives might be the very thing that helps awaken their own spiritual awareness. Above all, trust in your path. Trust in the reason you were chosen. Trust that your light, your love, your unique way of being in the world is exactly what's needed right now. You are a chosen one, playing a vital role in the awakening of human consciousness. So shine on, dear one. Embrace your spiritual journey with all its joys and challenges. Trust in the unfolding of your path. And know that by simply being your authentic, spiritually aware self, you're helping to create a more conscious, more loving world for all of us. Your presence matters. Your light is needed. Your journey as a chosen one is a gift to yourself, to those around you, and to the world at large. Embrace it fully and trust in the beautiful unfolding of your spiritual path.